Hello. Good morning, Freedom Team. Hope everybody's coming off a wonderful weekend. And for those who didn't get to make it last Thursday for happy hour, we had a great time. I'm going to go ahead and plant the seed early. The third Thursday of every month, we jump on from 5 to 6 p.m. Central. Just come and powwow with us next month. It's been a great time. And as always, we get to do these interviews every Monday morning. We have had this gentleman on before. I can't say enough about the guy you're about to hear from. A lot of us look up to him. He's living like he just was saying a second ago if you weren't on here, but his lifestyle is pretty remarkable, pretty hard to be upset or frustrated about anything, no matter what might be going on in your life. When you really look at the full gamut of what your life looks like, Eric, it's pretty amazing, right? You're easily in the top 1%. His rev share is off the chain, guys, around 3,000 people in his group. He's got one of the fastest growing organizations in the world here of EXP. Let me give you a quick little bio on him to kick this off. For the past 30 years, Eric has worked in business development arena where he was able to accomplish a very high degree of success. He worked in sales, sales management, sales training, and sales consulting capacity. Having been associated with well-respected products and services has provided me or him with the tools necessary to succeed. He has worked in four different industries, being directly responsible for capturing significant portion of the market share audience. His most recent accomplishments have taken place in the field of residential real estate and investment banking. His clients have been extremely diversified and have stemmed from portfolio managers. He has conducted real estate training seminars to real estate agents throughout the country. Regardless of the industry, the one consistent element has been the ability to set high goals and obtain them. His strongest attributes to surpassing expectations have been tenacity, forming strong client relationships, and understanding the needs of his buyers. These are also the elements he has searched for when responsible for building and managing a sales team. It is it is his having the responsibility of leading and training a sales organization that he most enjoys. So, Eric, hey man, I appreciate you coming on. I think we had John probably a little bit over a year ago. I have been fortunate and blessed to hear him make phone calls. If you have never done that and you're curious how someone of his caliber approaches the phone calls, it's so real, genuine, his verbiage, but yet very systematic that you'll just realize he's just making calls looking for that person he can connect with that's open. And he's become extremely successful, top 1% of agents across the world on EXP. So, first of all, thank you, brother, for taking some time out of your busy schedule to jump on with us. Why don't we start off? Because again, this is being recorded. More and more folks are going to start coming on to listen to the recording later. What else? Anything before we kind of jump into EXP? Anything else you'd like for us just to know about you other than what I just read, whether it's personal, anything like that?
No, I just want to say thank you for having me on. I so much enjoy your company because I think you speak from your heart. And in listening to you talking about my bio, I mean, the words tenacity today have been replaced by things like compassion,
Mm,
love, connection. So I think instead of going at something with the mindset of, yeah, you have to, like you have to do something, I said, I feel what makes me more successful today is that I get to enjoy making these calls, connecting with others, and seeing if I could be of service.
yeah, I love that. Back to what you're going through right now, it has reset your heart. I can tell where now you truly, and I say this all the time, I truly feel like I'm blessing agents. I got to find one who's open to talk with me, but I love when I find someone open because I know that if I can plug them into what we're doing, I can truly help bless their life. And it makes the calls a
Definitively,
little
Sean.
easier. Yeah.
Definitely.
Um,
Absolutely.
so for those who do not know, take us to right before you were approached with EXP, how did that all transpire? How were you approached, and what was the main reason we brought somebody of your caliber over to EXP?
So, I had a pretty successful career. And at 58, about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 6.5, 7 years ago, the unthinkable happened. I come from a family of overachievers. I have two siblings. My younger brother is a vascular surgeon, and my sister is a Yale doctor, married to a Yale doctor. And at 58, I made some investments and I wound up losing absolutely everything. I mean, everything at 58. I had to start all over again. I had heard about EXP 3 years prior. I know some of you may know Kevin Cottrell,
Mm.
works very closely with Gene Frederick. And I was actually in Texas doing a seminar, doing a real estate coaching class. And Kevin Cottrell approached me and he said, "Hey, I got in your calendar and I'd love to talk to you about EXP." And my response, very much like who I was at that time, was, "Let me help you out. Never in this lifetime will I ever join EXP." Well, 3 years later, I'm bankrupt. I'm borrowing money to exist. And the only thing that there was for me to look at was really EXP. And what happened is the light finally came on. What I came to realize was something that was very, very transparent. EXP allowed me the opportunity to share with agents how they can keep more of their commissions, how they can receive lead flow to take up their sales volume to a whole another level, and have access to other streams of income that provided them a level of financial stability and security that has never, ever, ever, ever existed in real estate. I think we could all agree that having 4 or 5 income streams is clearly better than having one income stream. And I thought, wow, what an amazing, amazing opportunity to simply go out there in the most spiritually healthy way possible and share this model, this real estate brokerage platform with other agents to see if I could be of service and to ask them appropriate questions so that if they and they alone could determine if the EXP platform aligned with the direction that they wanted to take their business. And I thought the same thing back then when I first started six years ago as I do today. I believe that, if somebody is open-minded, they'd have to attest to the fact that keeping more of their commission, getting lead flow, and having access to multiple streams of income puts them in a much better position to provide for themselves and their families. And that is something that I have taken with me into every conversation that I have, knowing that I don't have to try to pull the wall over somebody's eyes, that I could simply be transparent and speak with my heart and ask appropriate questions to help somebody uncover the benefits that EXP offers, which is like anything in the industry. And I know today we, of course, have some copycat models. There's Epic, there's LPT, there's Real. The reality is this, folks. The reality is this. EXP is the first cloud-based brokerage platform in the history of real estate. We are publicly traded and we have been profitable almost every single quarter. None of our competitors can say that. And where our competitors may be now in the United States and parts of Canada, EXP is now flourishing in almost 30 different countries out of the United States and Canada. Mm-hmm. So, we are absolutely in a growth mode. And what I'd like to kind of convey to you is the following. When you think of, and let's remove ourselves from this conversation for a second, right? Let's take young kids that are just now graduating from college, like my son. Could we all agree? I mean, EXP has proven the fact that you don't need to have an office to be successful, right? You do not need to have an office to be successful. But can we agree that a young person today graduating from college has to look at life and almost feel a sense of being overwhelmed? How am I going to afford a house someday? The beauty is this: EXP allows for the younger generation, people who are just moving into the workforce now, to have multiple streams made available to them so they can best take care of themselves and their families going forward. And that really resonates for me. So if someone says, is it too late? I think we're just scratching the surface. I think in the same way that none of us are going to Blockbuster Video tonight to pick out our favorite movie and our favorite candy. Blockbuster is not coming back anytime in the near future. It's been replaced, obviously, by Netflix or Amazon Prime. I believe the same thing, that KW, Berkshire Hathaway, Coldwell Banker, RE/MAX are no longer coming back into the marketplace and dominating like they did years ago. I think this is the time and place where EXP is absolutely going to flourish. So if you do not have this type of organization that you want, it's not too late to make that happen for you starting today. But it requires a sense of determination, work, and belief in yourself and this incredible platform.
So thank you for that. And with that being said, a couple questions around that. Instead of thinking what you're doing right now, let me just ask, when you first started, is there anything that you did that you wish if you started over, you would do it this way now, knowing what you know today? And rewound, because hopefully speaking to some agents who might be looking at this that haven't really even gotten started. Yeah, so I guess if you were starting today, right now, because I know there's faces on here, I see them all the time, who haven't really began to attract and do anything, what might you share with them from your heart on how to get this going and why you should get this going?
Okay, let me start off with the why question right now. So the why question is, folks, you can go out there and produce selling real estate, but it's like starting over from ground zero, the beginning of every year. If you went and sold 50 homes last year, right? You now have to go out next year and sell 50 homes to maintain that same level of success so you can pay your bills and things like that. So the beauty about revenue share, and you all know this, right, is that when you build out an organization, not only does the organization have a life of its own. Today, I have 2,700 people in my organization right now, or thereabouts. I think, when you build an organization, the beauty of that organization is other people, as they're going out there selling homes and being productive, you are receiving an income and you get paid in perpetuity as long as that person remains affiliated with EXP and continues selling real estate, right? That is leverage. That is powerful, super, super powerful. I mean, and what might that mean to the average agent in this country? Let's say they're not going to make $1 million a year in revenue share. Let's say an average agent made 5,000 a month, 3,000 a month. What would that mean to the average agent in this country? What level of stress and anxiety would be removed from their life? Think about that. You can even ask the question to yourself, what would $2, $3, $4, $5,000 a month mean to those of you that are here today? I mean, it's a car payment, it's a house payment, it's an education fund. It gives you the flexibility, it gives you an additional stream of income and a layer of financial security that we realtors have never had before. What I would do differently. So my model was really simple. And today I come at it the exact same way. The size and strength of your real estate business, whether you're in production or building a revenue share organization, is predicated by the size and strength of your database. Can we all agree? If we had 200 or 500 or 1,000 people in our database that we knew were open-minded, were willing to educate them about EXP and have a follow-up conversation, if you had 500 people in that database, you know that you would have an easy time falling asleep at night, putting your head in your pillow, knowing that you have a vibrant business. So my focus each and every day today, after this call ends, I am going to cold call, and I don't need to cold call anymore, right? I mean, my organization has a life of its own. I'm going to cold call for 2 hours today. And I'm going to identify 4 or 5 people in 2 hours that basically, I'm going to touch off on what Sean said before, are open-minded to enhancing the quality of their life by affiliating with a company like EXP. So I would do exactly what I've done in the past. I would reach out to people coming from a place of how I can be of service, not trying to get at something from them, not looking at them like they were a potential pile of money, but simply seeing if I could be of service, ask the right questions, and identify 3 bogeys that they have to hit. 1, are they open-minded? 2, are they willing to watch the 2 EXP videos I'm going to send out to them? And 3, have a follow-up conversation with me so collectively we could ascertain if they are right for EXP and if EXP is right for them. I would absolutely do the exact same thing over. However, in an effort to be as transparent as possible, right? If you look at the top alpha agents of the company, right? I'm an alpha agent of the company, but if you Gene Frederick, Brian Gove, I mean, you can go straight down the list, Elizabeth Riley, Sheila Fajon, all of them had built their businesses by picking up the phone or scheduling appointments and conversing with other people. Now there's a new blood that has come into the industry, and I wish I was much more comfortable being a YouTuber. Who has been the most successful person at EXP? It's Mike Sherrod. Mike Sherrod has blown it up for the period of time that he's been with, right? I'm 65 years old, so right, I am not as comfortable going on YouTube and making videos each and every day. If I was starting all over today, I would have incorporated that into my business, and I would have found a way to make myself comfortable. So I think if you want to be successful, there's many ways to cross the room. Kelly's going to laugh and Kathy's going to laugh when I say that. There's many different ways to cross the room. I'm now learning that my way isn't the only right way. There's other ways to cross the room, and I would incorporate having a strong social media presence, which includes YouTube. And I think Mike Sherrard, and I think there are certain people, mostly younger generation, that are absolutely scaling right now. So I think doing both of those things. Now, I'll tell you what I like about my model. The beauty of my model, when I'm picking up the phone and I'm outbounding, if I'm calling Kathy Carter, I know exactly who Kathy Carter is prior to me picking up the phone. I know who she is. I can ask pertinent questions and I can assess, is this somebody I want to build my organization with? Right? When you build out the other way using social media, things like YouTube, right? That's all inbounding. You have no idea with whom is reaching out to you. But I would incorporate both of those today. Remember, one person made me wealthy. One. I was poor and destitute. I was sitting in my apartment in Miami Beach, and I had heard about this well-known Spanish-speaking real estate coach who was the biggest in the world and happened to live in Miami. I had just moved from California to Miami Beach, and I cold called him. And Orlando and Daniel Montiel wound up joining my organization. We brought in almost every Spanish-speaking realtor in Miami, Orlando, and other parts of the country. That one call, Chuck, changed the quality of my life in terms of my financial well-being. That one call was an absolute difference maker. So I'm going to say this to you. If you really want to build something of significance, you need to have yourself what I would call a unicorn, right? A general, somebody who could absolutely build. So I spend 1 hour a week. I don't spend all of my time going whale hunting, what I call whale hunting, but I spend 1 hour a week reaching out and trying to find that next person who could make that significant jump in my life financially. So I'm constantly looking at that person. What does that person typically look like? That person could be a title rep. Think about that. What does a title rep do all day? Title rep goes in front of realtors and cements real estate relationships, right? So they can earn title business, but they have spent their entire career in front of realtors. So it could be a title rep. It could be a real estate coach. It could be a lender. It could be somebody, I brought in Christoph Mazel, who runs Land Voice. You guys know Land Voice? Called up Christoph and said, Land Voice is like Red X, Kelly. It's humongous, humongous. And he's got a customer base of tens of thousands of people. I brought him into EXP. And what I want you to do is when you're building your business, don't put a time limit on how long it's going to take somebody to join your organization, because that sales cycle is going to vary. I brought Orlando Montiel in within 30 days. It was quick. I also, on a cold call, reached out to Louis Andrew Ruiz, the Louis Andrew Group in Miami. Louis is now number 2 or 3 in the state of Florida. When I recruited him, I met him on a cold call. It took me 3 years to bring him in. 3 years to bring him in. So what that gave me was the opportunity over that 3 years to really nurture and cement a relationship to the point if I did anything short of drooling on him or seriously offending him, there was a very high likelihood he was going to join my organization. So I never got hung up on it took me 3 years. All I looked at was there was a huge window of opportunity for me to nurture and cement a relationship with Louis. And that today he's become one of my closest friends.
You say something interesting, and I've really taken it to heart in the last 60 days. I think I've mentioned this to Kelly and Kathy. I've never really had a consistent follow-up system ever. And here I am now 8 years in, just starting it, and I'm enjoying what you just said, knowing that I'm keeping all these relationships. I'm going to drip value on. I'm going to invite them to events. And just knowing that some are going to come in 3 months, some in 6 months, some in a year, some 2, but I'm going to maintain this follow-up system because everybody has a different timing. For those who've never heard this, and you've kind of been doing it anyway, but your cold call, your call, because to me it's pretty genius. You and we have another guy on our team, Eric Golden, also has a very genius opening. They're both totally different, but give just your opening when you make a call for those that may not have it or are going to hear the recording, because I love it. because like you just said, you're just simply looking for somebody that's open-minded, but you say some key things in there that should, if anybody's even slightly open, have them want to talk with you at least to hear more about what it is that you're calling them about. So let's open up if you don't mind. I know you got it so
Sure.
verbatim, it's pretty incredible.
No worries at all. So I want to just piggyback off of what you said because I think it's the most important thing I'm going to say to you today. The fortune is not in the first phone call. First phone call is going to help you define your audience. The fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is absolutely in follow-up. You need to have an incredible drip campaign, which I incorporate in Attractify. I have a drip campaign that goes out the 1st and the 15th immediately for people that are qualified prospects. Again, a prospect is somebody that is open-minded, right? In our first conversation, they're committing to watching 2 videos and have a follow-up conversation. That is the bogey that somebody must hit in order to go into my relationship, because I'm not going to spend time, put forth effort, and utilize resources to enhance the relationship that can't be enhanced. Perfect example. If I wanted to marry Kelly Fasterling, I can't marry Kelly because she's already married to another individual. So I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time in that venue trying to marry Kelly, right? Doesn't make sense. You have to operate your business the same way. You want to put people into your database that are worthy of being there, that are worthy of you taking the time, putting forth the effort, and utilizing the resources to enhance that relationship. So every phone call starts off with a compliment. And it's something like this, right? Sean, hi, Sean. My name is Eric Orland. How are you today? I don't say EXP. How are you today?
I'm doing good. What can I help you with?
Sean, I was looking at a production report and I noticed that you have been successfully selling real estate for an extended period of time. In light of the market that we've had, that obviously speaks volumes. So congratulations on your success. I hope you'll take this call as a compliment to what you've been able to accomplish.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sean, would you be open-minded to exploring a brokerage platform? I'm going to stop for a second. Everything I'm going to address now is about NLP, neuro linguistic programming. I'm going to ask question after question after question after question. Sean, would you be open-minded? Guys, why do I ask Sean if he'll be open-minded? Because nobody says I'm closed-minded. They'd be calling themselves ignorant, right? So I'm asking him straight from the get-go, would you be open-minded to exploring a brokerage platform that may allow you the good fortune to keep more of your commissions, provided you buyer and seller leads so you could ramp up your sales volume. But Sean also made available to you multiple other streams of income. Made available to you multiple other streams of income, putting you in a position to increase your income earning potential with income streams that you may not have available to you right now. Sean, is this something that you might find compelling? Would you simply be open-minded to exploring together? So I'm going to do it a little quicker now. Sean, role play with me for a second. Sean, would you be open-minded to exploring a brokerage platform that would allow you the opportunity to keep more of your commissions? But Sean, also potentially made available to you multiple other streams of income that you don't have in place right now, simply putting you in a position to make more money. Is this something you might find compelling? And would you simply be open to exploring together?
Yeah, I'd be open. I mean, Eric, now's not the time. You just kind of caught me. I'm walking into a meeting, but obviously, I'm open to anything like that. Can you send me something over? Anything like that I can look at?
John,
Or
I'd be happy to do this. What I'd love to do is I'm going to take the liberty of sending you out 2 short videos. These videos are going to give you a great overview why EXP is the fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate and how this magnificent platform may assist you in taking your business to the next level. It will also allow you to formulate any questions that you might have for me. Sean, do you think you'd be able to watch these videos in the next couple of days?
yeah, I could probably do it later this evening. Yeah.
Perfect. That's going to push us out. So let's say Wednesday or Thursday of this week. Sean, when would be a good time for us to reconnect so I could address any questions that may come up for you? Typically, Wednesday or Thursday look better for your schedule. And I'm going to basically take them to what we call an alternative close, right? I'm going to identify Wednesday or Thursday, mornings or afternoons. I'm going to select a time. But 3 things happened in that call, right? He conveyed to me he's open-minded. 2, he agreed to watch the videos. And 3, have a follow-up appointment, which is absolutely imperative.
And Eric, when you're making those calls, just give me just an idea. For every 10 people you connect with on a phone call, they pick up and you're now talking to them, how many will generally agree to watch the two videos and set up a follow-up call? Be honest, how many?
I'm almost embarrassed to say I have a very high closing ratio. I'm going to say at least 3 to 4 people. I have a very high, I'm very comfortable making that call. And the reason I'm comfortable making that call is I'm already prepared. If Sean gives me an objection, I know exactly how to handle, isolate, and overcome that objection. I'm really good where I'm at. Sean, Sean said, Eric, I'm really happy where I'm at. I understand, Sean. And would you agree that most agents are typically happy where they're at, or they wouldn't be there? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, yeah.
Sean, if you're happy where you're at and your head is down, you're focused, you may not be available to other things, that you may not be aware of other platforms that are out there and what they may be able to offer you. Sean, can you be in any better position to simply compare and contrast what you're receiving from Remax versus what eXp could provide to see which one best aligns with the direction that you and you alone want to take your real estate position, and you want to take your real estate business? Aren't you in an enviable position? So no matter what Sean says to me, I'm keenly prepared to handle any objection he gives me in an effort to move that relationship forward.
So let's do some of that. That'd be kind of fun since this is being recorded. Chuck, you guys at Dan, anything, whether you've made calls or you're thinking this, somebody may say this, throw out anything to Eric and let's just hear you kind of go through those. And I can throw out a few myself right now, just so we got it recorded, be something good to always listen to, because I think there needs to be a comfort, right? One, I know that I'm reaching out again to hopefully bless an agent, but they got to be open-minded. But I also know that it's going to help me make the phone call if my mind feels comfortable that if they say this, how am I going to reply? I think a lot of us don't want to pick up the phone, go like, oh my God, what am I going to say when they say this? So let's do a few of those. So the moment
Sean, if I can, so I believe that 14% of the people at eXp do revenue share. Do you guys know that? 86% of the people don't. Let's go through a quick exercise here. Why do you think that is? And this some of this came to me from the Climber trainings that I've been doing. So why do you think 86% of the people at eXp don't participate in revenue share?
I can come up with several reasons, but I think one of the big ones is someone who decides they want to do it. Most people come up with the 4, 5, 6, 7 people in their mind that they're going to call right out of the gate. They might do it in the first week, 30 days, 60 days. They don't really get prepped in how to do that. And they just pick up the phone thinking it's a relationship, it's my good buddy, and they call. Catch them at the wrong time, EXP, no, whatever, they get pushback. And I think you get 2, 3, or 4 of those as a player that sells real estate and you're successful. You get pushback on this rev share thing. I think their mind goes, that didn't feel good. That wasn't comfortable. I'm going to go back to doing what I'm comfortable with. That's production. I think that's one of the reasons. There's a variety, but go ahead.
I completely agree with you. So I'm going to summarize what Sean just said, right? Nobody wants to feel shamed, embarrassed, or rejected. That's it. Nobody wants to feel shamed, embarrassed, or rejected. So one of the reasons I created Attractify is a system that when you're making a call, right, script is right up there in front of you. And when someone gives you an objection, that pops up right on your screen. You want me to pull this up so I can quickly show you what this looks like?
Yeah, please.
Okay. And the reason I created Attractify is I wanted agents in my organization to have a blueprint, to have a map exactly how to scale an organization. All right, now I'm going to pull up Attractify, and I'm going to pull this up and show you, and you'll understand really quickly why I do this. So one of the key tools that I have in here is these are all of the scripts that we have. If someone's making calls for you, if it's a call with a set appointment, an open-minded call, which I do all day, a rating call is a second call. The 2 videos, Kath, I saw this in your question to me. This was just produced last week. It's the new 15-minute video. It's the only one that's on the market. And then me and Micah Murwat, me explaining the model for 38 minutes with Micah. You'll look right here, the third item in the tools is objection handling. So if somebody really says to me, I'm happy where I'm at, while I'm talking to them and they say I'm happy at that I'm at, what would pop up is, wouldn't you agree that most people feel the same way? I'd say exactly what I said to you. Or they would stay with their employing broker based on the fact you're happy. Can I assume you haven't spent a whole lot of time researching what else is being offered in the marketplace to assist you in taking your business to the next level? Can you be in any better position to simply compare and contrast what you're being provided by your current broker versus what eXp, the fastest growing real estate organization of all time, has to offer? Aren't you in an enviable position? It's almost word for word. So when someone says, why are you successful at this? I think I'm very prepared. Someone says to me, I need an office, never heard of eXp, loyalty to my broker, need time to think, rejecting on a follow-up call. They're now ghosting me, or they're simply not interested. Everything is written out. So these are aids that I have right by my side to ensure that I never feel shamed, or embarrassed or rejected. I know exactly how to move that relationship forward. But any one of these, I use on a very consistent basis.
Let's call on Dan real quick. Dan, I know you got your hands up, my friend. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a quick question. I've got a
Please
few
do.
agents that I know, and I was just wondering if a face-to-face conversation is best or a phone call.
So I've always believed doing things that what the average person wouldn't do always puts you in a better position to have the success that you want, need, and desire. So in other words, if I am in Florida and I'm taking a trip, I live in Puerto Rico, and let's say I'm taking a trip to Florida, and I have a close relationship with somebody, I'm building a relationship with somebody in Tennessee or Georgia or South Carolina. If they're within an hour flight of where I'm at, and they're serious about eXp, I'm always going to try to get face to face or belly to belly with them in an effort to drive the relationship deep. I'm going to typically try to break bread. Studies show, Dan, that when you have a cup of coffee with somebody, a glass of wine, or share a meal, inevitably what happens is it drives the relationship deep. So I think if you're able to always try to get face to face with somebody. Having said that, it's hard for me to do because I live in Puerto Rico today, right? And but the quality of the meeting will always be stronger face to face than it is simply over the phone.
My perspective, since I'm just starting out with this and want to try to build this extra stream, right? Because, like I said, this is me. I'm exactly where you were a few years ago, and I'm trying to build this business the right way. I do know a lot of local agents that I want to reach out to and share this business with and grow. And so I haven't talked to them in a few weeks since I just started. So I want to make sure I do this the right way and not overstep myself.
I love the question that you're asking me. So the first thing that I would do is I'd put together a comprehensive list of every agent that you've worked with in the past. So if they were on a flip side of a transaction with you, if you were the listing agent, they were the selling agent, or vice versa. Any agent that's a friend of yours in the business, a colleague, whether they lived close or far away. So flip side of a transaction, friends in the business, former colleagues. I'd put together a list of those three. I would make it a point to go to as many real estate events as I could in an effort to get face to face and belly to belly with people. What do I mean by that? Title events, lending events, local board events, NAR events, your state events, anything like that. If you were really serious about building a revenue share organization, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to a Tom Ferry seminar. Now, I don't sell real estate, and I'll never sell real estate again. But why would I go to a Tom Ferry? Why would I go to a Tom Ferry event? Dan, why do you think I go to a Tom Ferry event?
I've never even heard of those.
Tom Ferry is one of probably today the most famous real estate coach in the world. Probably gets 4,000 or 5,000 people at an event. I would simply go to an event to say hello to people, flash a smile, and engage with people, not sell anybody an EXP, but follow up with them. But I would go to a Tom Ferry event to simply identify. I would have to I could trip into 50 people and walk away from a Tom Ferry event with 50 people that are open-minded to at least have a conversation about EXP. So what I would say to you is what you want to start doing is going to as many events as possible. Even if you're going if you're going to lunch on a Saturday or Sunday, right? I would stop by 4 or 5 open houses and simply walk through the open house to say hello to an agent. Hey, I just noticed your property on the market. Great listing. Wanted to see what you have here. How long you been in the business? And I'd ask them, Nothing about EXP. How long you been in the business? Oh, I see that you were so-and-so. How long have you been with them? How do you like it over there? Right? I wouldn't try to sell them an EXP. I would follow up afterwards. But if
Like
you
that
are
idea.
intentional, if you're intentional, Dan, about building a revenue share organization, I promise you it's not hard to do. I think what happens is people hear no a couple of times, like Sean articulated before, and they immediately run for the hills. I'm going to say to you that every time somebody says no to you, it means that you're that much closer to receiving a yes. Every time someone says no, you're that much closer to receiving a yes. And I'm going to share with you the people that are super successful in real estate, right? The people that are uber successful, they're the ones that are always looking for the next mechanism to take their business from where it's at today and move, taking it to the moon. So what you want to do is you want to reach out to people and never be intimidated. Never, ever feel intimidated. 3/4 of building, more than 3/4, 90% of building a revenue share organization has to do with mindset. Has to do with mindset, treating your business as a profession, not as a hobby, knowing that nobody is bigger than EXP. Nobody. So never feel ashamed, embarrassed that someone's doing you a favor. But also honing your skill set, knowing how do I approach somebody with the right script. And I don't say script, I use the word script, and I'm almost nervous to say the word script because I know a lot of times somebody says script and they feel like it's robotic. And we all know people see BS coming a million miles away. I use a script to ensure that I'm asking appropriate questions. And so the conversation stays on track and I can gather information to then assess whether or not I want to spend the time, effort, and resources moving that relationship forward. I believe by not having a script in place, you're shooting yourself in the foot and making this a lot more challenging.
Would agree. Go ahead, Dan. Looks like you're about to
Well,
follow
you
up.
just say thanks. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, dude. Don't be intimidated by this. Everybody started somewhere. I remember when I first started, I thought, wow, there's so much here. But what I did do, Dan, what I did do was I took the time to make sure I had the right scripts in place, my follow-up system in place, the right drip campaigns in place, so I could identify the relationship and then simply nurture it and cement it so I ultimately would be successful. I planned my success. It was very well planned out. I was intentional, and then I had the right mechanisms in place.
What would you say, Eric, that most agents maybe misunderstand about revenue share? What would you say?
I think most agents, what they misunderstand about revenue share is that, it doesn't just happen overnight, right? I had 1,000 agents my first year at EXP. It happened for me overnight. I also had Orlando Montiel, which would not have happened if I did not have Orlando. Just to be very transparent with you. But it's like anything else in life. What you put into these relationships is what you're going to get out of these relationships. If you'll come at this with a sense of determination and conviction, and you are committed to your success, you will absolutely be successful. And I think you have to tell yourself that you're going to be successful. So my wallet's in the other room, and I had done Bob Proctor coaching prior to starting at EXP. And if I got my wallet, in it is a gold card. And it says, I am so happy and grateful now that I have 10,000 people in my EXP organization. That's before I ever started EXP. So I think, Dan, mindset, what you think about, you get to choose what you think about. What you think about is going to manifest itself in your life. So think success. Think success. Don't think it. I mean, live it, be it. Be successful. It comes with the mindset, right? It comes first and foremost with mindset. A lot of people might say, if only I had this, right? I like to throw it the opposite way. I do a coaching class with Kelly and Kathy, and a lot of people, will say, if I have something in place, then I could do this, and then I'll be that person. No, 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 no. Do, have. Be that person. Be that successful person. Go into every relationship with a high level of confidence. Go into every relationship knowing that you are successful, that you already have that organization of 5,000 people, whether you do or not. But be that person when you enter any conversation with somebody. Be, do, and then you'll have. Not have, be, not have, do, be, but be, do, have.
Mm, yeah. Mindset, no doubt.
It's
Um,
critical. It's
mm,
critical. And the other thing is, the one thing that I do think I did really well is I kept my ego to the side. I never flaunted the fact I didn't, I was the last person to speak in the alpha calls. You remember, Sean, when we used to have the alpha calls, just the alpha calls?
yeah.
Very rarely would you hear me speak. I'm always one who wants to listen. I want to learn. I want to learn from others with bigger organizations than me. I did not need to tout my own ego. And quite frankly, I mean, Kelly knows me. I mean, I fly under the radar. It's very intentional why I don't live next to everybody else in Thomas. I want to fly under the radar. I want to do what I do. I don't want people telling me I don't have to prospect anymore. I'm looking forward to picking up the phone today and making 2 hours of phone calls and growing my business. And I'm not going to get sidetracked.
Speaking of that, since you're making those calls, for those who aren't a part of Attractify right now, but they love to hear you make the calls, can they listen in at least a day or so to hear you make calls?
I mean, you guys can come on. I'm happy to open it up to you, 1 or 2 times. But I mean, if people are paying for Attractify. It's a great system, and I don't have to tap. I don't need the money from Attractify. It is an incredible, incredible system. It is the best. I'm going to say it. I think it's the best system. And Leo saw it recently. Leo said to me, "Oh my God, Eric, how much time and effort you put into this?" I mean, and I haven't been selling you guys on Attractify the whole time. I deliberately do not talk a lot about it, but it is the best system for going out there and knowing how to build an organization. You'll see a lot of it in the next 3 or 4 weeks. I have to have something done by April 17th, by 9 a.m. CST. So you'll see a very aggressive marketing plan released this month. It's been lowered. It's $97.
Hmm.
I'm going to lower it down, and it's a really good program. If you want it, if you're serious about revenue share and you want to take your business and you want the right aids in place and the right tools in place, there's nothing like it in the marketplace.
And I will just drop in a quickie. I was part of that, and my friends Trish and Jason were part of that. And the guidance of listening to Eric do calls, having the scripts, getting the confidence, it's powerful. So, even if you just wound up doing it for a year or something, the ability to absorb what Eric is doing and saying is very, very powerful. So consider it if it fits your budget, 100 a month. If you can get one agent in a month through what Eric does, which you can if you do what he does, that 100 a month is absolutely nothing to get that
What we do, I
support.
prospect, Kelly. I prospect with you every Tuesday and every Thursday. All you have to do is come with a name and a phone number. I'll make the call and I'll build the organization. We'll co-sponsor it together. We'll either one time I'll be the primary or the co, and we'll go back and forth. But I will make the call for you and help you build your organization. It's not hard, but Attractify is powered by AI. Everything is on the screen in front of you, knowing how to respond verbally and in writing. So you are communicating at the highest level. It's almost like having a virtual assistant sitting next to you saying, send out this tool now. Click on this button, send out this tool now. So you know what to send, when to send it, and how to communicate at the highest level. So Attractify is powered by artificial intelligence.
So if somebody wanted to listen in right now for those 1 or 2 times, how do they go about doing that, Eric?
So if you go to Tuesday and Thursday think Eric. God, look. Tuesday I do 3 to 5. 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern. 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern. Thursday is 2 to 4 Eastern. And you're more than welcome to listen, and you'll see, get a group in there every week, every Tuesday and Thursday, and I make the calls on their behalf. But I want to share something with you. The goal is not for me to make the calls on your behalf. The goal is for you to learn and internalize the scripts to the point that they are part of your personality, where you're not sounding robotic, but you're speaking from your heart and someone senses your authenticity. They want that relationship with you. First thing I say in a call is typically, hey, Chuck, how you doing? It's Eric Orland calling. I'm good, Eric. How are you? Great, Chuck. Thanks for asking. Immediately, right? It's immediately taking it and focus on the relationship. It's very different building a business today than when I did 5 years ago. It has absolutely gotten harder, right? Why? It's really simple. EXP and our 83,000 agents worldwide, right? We have been in the marketplace talking and talking and talking and talking. So it isn't the same opportunity today. And we've been in a very difficult real estate market. We've been in a very challenging market for the last 3 years. But I believe if you'll take the time to learn the scripts and make them a part of who you are and approach somebody with a high level of confidence. Remember, people do business with you if they like you, if they trust you, and they deem you as being competent. If they like you, if they trust you, and deem you as being competent. That has to come from within. That's all about your self-image. And what's going to give you a higher self-image is knowing that if you have these aids in place, when you're using Attractify, two things happen before you make a phone call. Number one, you get to pick the script. It's right there in front of you. If they give you an objection, you click on the button and that objection how to respond pops up. But also there's a video of me. We went to the studio and we shot 13 videos. The videos are between 1 minute to 3 minutes long. It gives you a whole overview how to use the system and how to work it. But before you make a call, if you could listen to the open-minded call, it's the exact script I use. And we give you these aids so you don't have to feel shamed or embarrassed of being rejected. And what you're going to do is if you see the value in this, you're going to say to, hey, people on your team, hey, if you're serious about revenue share, I would jump in with Attractify and watch how this is done. You're going to have all of the tools and aids that you need to have the success that you want, that you need, and that you desire.
So do they, Dan's asking in there, how do they listen on Tuesday, Thursday? Do they go to Attractify?
Oh, sorry about that. You go to live, LIVE .attractify.ai, live.attractify.ai. And it is subscriptions. I've got to be cognizant of that people are on there paying for this. So if you guys want to come on once or twice and listen to the calls, Sean is on with me. Sean, you've been on several times.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get a lot out of the calls. You'll get a lot out of that. And Attractify is also predicated. So there's a couple of components to it. One, Attractify is about providing coaching and training throughout the entire week. We have 10 different Zoom calls. Our philosophy at Attractify is this. Don't be great at explaining, Dan, all of the features and benefits of EXP. You're brand new to EXP. It is a huge task. Simply get good at inviting. Bring them on to me explaining the model. I explain the model every Wednesday and Thursday night. And I do, it's not many things I do super, super well. I'm pretty good at explaining the model. But we offer 10 different coaching classes, 10 different Zoom calls a week. Number two is that we have enhanced tools and systems, everything from a brokerage cost comparison calculator, the 5 features and benefits of EXP, objection handling, scripts, the 2 videos. You have all of these enhanced tools. 3, we have a teaching platform. As I mentioned before, we have 13 videos that you can watch in under 45 minutes and start putting this to work for you. And lastly, we have a quasi CRM that's powered by artificial intelligence, as I mentioned before, that tells you who, what, where to send something out and ensures that you're communicating at the highest level.
And again, to back that up again for both Chuck and Dan, remember, if you want, come with your top 10 and give them one at a time to Eric. He just kind of goes round robin. If there's 6 people on, each person gives them a name and he makes the call for you on your behalf. Give them an idea just for comfort. Eric, what's that sound like? If Dan brought you Tom, an agent he knows in his local market, what might that call sound like when you call Tom? And do you mention Dan's name?
Tom, I've heard great things about you from Dan. You've got a one-person PR firm. I hope you'll take this call. I hope that you'll take this call as a compliment to what Dan thinks and has had to say about you and the success that you've had in the industry. And then I get right into, would you be open-minded? Would you be open-minded? But I will tell you, 99% of the calls are as cold. They don't know the person. They have a name. They have a telephone number. They know how many transactions they've done and what company they're with. 95% of the calls I make are cold calls. And it
Where do
doesn't make
you find the transactions? Do you go to Zillow, look at kind of the estimated transactions, or how are you
You know,
finding?
Kath, everybody does it differently. I I bought a list, Dr. Bill. You guys know Dr. Bill? Who that is? I think I spent like $1,100 and I bought a list of every agent in the country. I have half of them, I have their phone numbers, their mobile numbers. I have all of their email addresses. It tells me who they're with, and it tells me what's their transaction count or their volume for the year. So I'm familiar with who I'm calling prior to picking up the phone. So on
So
the
do you buy
call,
them every year, or do you just kind of
just
go
just
on the
once,
fly?
and then I just once, but then I have lists. I get the list from so many different places. I'll go to realtor.com, right, which gives me a good indication. And then some people pay for the service. I don't believe in paying for it. I think there's so many different ways to get names and numbers that you don't have to pay anybody for that.
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
embarrassed to say that I paid for Attractify and I've not really plugged in. So you've inspired me to plug in.
It's I'm not saying
I
because I
did in the very beginning a little bit, but yeah, I need to put this as one of my activities, no doubt. So.
It's really good, Kathy. And I don't say that, I didn't build it. I just can't, it's really interesting how it came about. So I knew very early on that at 58 years old, having gone bankrupt and lost everything, that there wasn't much leeway for me to be successful. I had to be successful doing this. And the way that I was going to be successful was to follow the yellow brick road that led me to a pot of gold, right? That I was going to have a map. I was going to have a blueprint that was precise. And not only for me, but if you're successful in building a revenue share organization, you need to be able to duplicate. You need to be able to show others in your organization precisely what to do. So creating this system that was called Attraction Flow and is now called Attractify. We went through a rebrand and we built our own CRM. All of it's proprietary. It was to ensure my success. It was to absolutely ensure my success. And I use it every single day. I love, love, love the system. And it's gotten better and better and better. And it's only been out since last July. So it's not even a year old. And I've never marketed it. You're going to see intense marketing in the next 3 weeks, though.
Your deadline's the 17th. Better be before 3 weeks.
Boy, they all know. I'm in everybody's ear right now. But it's a really good platform. That's all I can say to you. That if you're serious about revenue share, it's $97 a month. It's money that's really well spent. I'll help you build your organization. You'll have every tool and system right at your fingertips to have the type of success that you want.
love it, dude. I just appreciate you big
Yes.
time. Just wearing your heart on your sleeve and being willing to let these guys, if they want to, listen once or twice. And yeah, you guys just all need to decide, man, if you really want to build this. It is probably one of the, I want to say, simplest and easiest systems for duplication, to take away that fear and that embarrassment of what to say. It's all right there. So it's like, really, there's no excuse, but you can spend, if you want, the first 30 days, 45 days, just listen to Eric make the calls, and then maybe practice a little bit, role play with someone else, until you kind of feel comfortable. You can take that first month or so and listen in, and you'll see that he pretty much says the same thing over and over. Same objections come up over and over, and you're just kind of following it. Before you know it, begins to internalize. And when you start to have a little success, it builds on it. You get excited. Next thing you know, you're wanting to make calls like Eric because you're watching it bless you and bless others at the same time. So, Eric, we're so grateful, bro, for you spending a few minutes.
Dude, I love you, bro. You've got a heart of gold. You wear your heart on your sleeve. You are one of the best leaders at EXP, and you do it the right way, without any sort of ego. Just you come at it from a place of kindness and decency. I'll always come on here and support you in any way that I can.
Thank you, man. That means a ton. Really means a ton. Well, we got this recorded. We'll put it up, guys, like we always do on our Freedom Team YouTube channel and so forth. Eric, bro, I appreciate you big time, man. Good luck on your calls here today. So you make them here Monday, but people listen on Tuesday and Thursday. And you guys got all the
I make them every day, 2 hours a day. It's my way of, making sure that I'm always at the top of my game, that I'm not getting rusty, and trying to help other people.
Love it.
And I'll just say that's the thing. We talk about this a lot on our Mondays and our Tuesday calls. Tuesdays we do more transactions. Monday's about attraction, but everything we do in business, guys, just comes down to consistency. And look at what Eric's been able to create because he's consistent. 2 hours a day, every single day, right? Without fail, he makes that happen, and just to piggyback off what Sean said, in the beginning, when I first was in his system, I agree. It's a great one to check out. I'm going to jump back in my own self. I kind of went the funnel route and been doing funnels, Eric. And so, but what I know is I can do both, right? So I can do both. So anyway, thank you so much for being here.
Good to see you, Kath. Guys, make today your masterpiece. It's great spending time with you.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it,
y'all.
Eric. All right. Have a blessed day,
Yes.
buddy. Thank you.
Thanks.